Hi, my name is Gary Deborger. Farm in with myself and my son, an operation called Deborger Farms Limited and Deborger Ag Limited. We've been farming in this area, I guess, second generation. My dad started it when they immigrated from Belgium 70 years ago. We kind of looked at it and said, let's look at the Strip-Tillage and seeing if we could reduce our passes, our manpower, and our environmental impact on the soils.
What really matters to you in your operation that you feel a lot of farmers maybe sometimes overlook and in turn led you to Strip-Till?
We look at economics and costs and stuff of that, and try to do as good a job of evaluating the cost of implementing a Strip-Till operation and the effect it would have on our yields. Probably wanting to not reduce yields, reduce costs, and increase or at least hold yields is what our first goal was. And so we basically had to put a cost comparison together and to tell ourselves that this would be the right move to make, and willing to do that. You really got to dig in and say, okay, what is my real cost? What's it cost to, what's the depreciation on equipment, and and the labor savings and fuel savings and stuff of that, and put it all together and say, okay, this is the math now, let's see if we can implement it. And the willing to do that, I guess, is but you got to be able to put the numbers on paper before you jump into it and say, yeah, this is what it should be, and let's see if we can make it work.
So if you went back to yourself, back when you were thinking about Strip-Till, it looked like a good idea, putting yourself back in those shoes. And what would you say to a farmer who was in your shoes at that time and, thinking about Strip-Till as an option for their operation?
Look around is probably the biggest, look at different guys that have implemented it, and, maybe take the best out of, several guys that you think are quite successful at Strip-Till, and seeing if you can adapt those ideas into your own operation. But look, ask questions. Guess don't assume. Find out what didn't work with other people's adaptations, and like forget about trying to learn it yourself. And for that part, for sure. We're basically running it with 3 people, 3 full-time, and we call 1 part-time guy, and then some retired farmers that come in and help that still want to drive tractor. The Strip-Till part and the harvest part, planting part, we leave to the main guys. Myself, my son, either run the planters or the Strip-Till unit or the combine. The only thing that hits the field for us in the spring is a planter and a sprayer.
So Gary, just curious, from things you've seen on your own farm, how do you think Strip-Till benefits the province from a soils perspective, and that's thing across the province as a whole? And just curious, what do you think it contributes towards more sustainable crop production in Ontario?
From what we've seen in our full tillage operations, it's like we looked at the faults that was in that system. And one was, I mentioned it before, was the amount of equipment that it took to put a full tillage system together, and the erosion. There was, even though we're flat, there's still erosion. Little bits here and there. You'd always go up in the spring and close those rills that are always in the same spot every year. So you'd take the good soil and you put it back in, fill the rill, and until the next rain event went, and that rill just went right back to where it was prior to doing that. And we still see that a little bit of that in the Strip-Till, but if I was to put a % reduction on it, it's huge. It's 80% reduction in the amount of soil that's being moved with the Strip-Till system, and plus including that as the nutrients that go with it. So a lot better effect on our water as far as Ontario is concerned. After adopting the system and running it for the last 7 years, 8 years, we can't imagine going back to another tillage practice. We've got it to work in our operation, and we think it works quite efficiently. We hope that it's more adopted in Ontario. Definitely in this area, once, farmers look at each other and see what's going on, and once a couple of the bigger guys adopted it, it's like, yeah, wow, this stuff really works. Like, these guys are, look at what they're doing, and look what their crops look like, and like, we can do this, and we hope that you can do that province wide.